Good morning, good morning, good morning. Merry stupid o'clock, everyone. Welcome to another Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but first the usual babble and then the usual disclaimers. So why am I doing this so early in the morning? It's Sunday, which means I get off an hour later, which means getting to a reasonable hour of sleep and not hitting myself on Monday comes with extreme difficulty. So I wanted to make sure to get all the exercise done and the videos done now so that I can just eat and pass out after work today. Wish me luck. Oh my god. So today and tomorrow is pretty much do or die for me. So, positive vibes would be more than welcomed. Like send all the vibes. Send all the vibes. Okay? Alright, in the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to Judge Rotenberg Center's quote-unquote behavioral modification program. The JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much that they threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused, so please read the article, share on all your social media. We also have the link to NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC has the balls to see through with their threat. Excuse me. Also, we have linked down in there the articles in regards to the Agape boarding school situation. Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed school that is situated on a ranch out in Stockton, Missouri, where they quote-unquote turn around rebellious males that has, and count them folks, pending 19 lawsuits alleging child physical abuse, sexual abuse, child exploitation, as well as starvation, and many others. Please read those articles, share on your social media, and most importantly, we have their change.org Shut Agape Boarding School Down petition. Please also sign that and share, okay? We also got the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Sorry, folks, breakfast. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you do have young children present, please go ahead and use your headphones. Also, warning, profanity is used on this channel. If this offends you, please hit pause now and use the links. And this is also a reason why nobody under the age of 16 should probably be watching these videos. Also, it is early. So, if I stumble over my words, apologies in advance, alright? Okay. So, where we left off last night, 136. The BIPs do not identify specific skills training for developing appropriate replacement or alternative skills to replace the targeted behaviors. Okay, so we know we're going to have a bunch of smoke blown up our ass, right? Just prepare yourselves. Remember, this is when they were talking about in the New York port about, folding napkins and stacking and restacking popsicle sticks. This is completely false. Really? This is precisely what JRC does, and it is why so many parents seek to have their child placed at JRC when other treatments and placements fail to effectively treat their child's severe behavior disorder. They love using the word severe, right? They just basically want to take you, grab your back of your head, slam you down, and rub your face in it, don't they? Don't they? They want to convince you that this is the only place that can help these kids. They want you to drink the Kool-Aid. What they don't realize is to those outside their little cult, what it sounds like is like they sound insane. Insane. If the school actually did all these wonderful things it claims it did, the results would speak for themselves. They wouldn't have to write this insane word salad to try to convince anyone because the numbers would speak for themselves. They don't, do they? No, JRC, they really don't. And this is why you use these stupid tactics. You use triggering words, you use worst case scenarios, you use the one token student that is going to college and the token students you put in those apartments to try and make yourselves look better when in actuality, it just makes you look worse. Discriminatory as hell. Racist as hell. Ableist as hell. Inhumane and monstrous as hell, okay? We good on this? The reason why parents put kids in schools like this is because you basically brainwash them into believing that there's no other option. That's what you do. You don't inform them of any alternative types of plans or behavioral programs. You don't talk to them about positive behavioral reinforcement. You don't even know what it is. Or person-centered planning, which you've labeled as a theory, but has actually been in practice now since the late 90s. They try to convince you there's no numbers that back up that it's actually successful. It is. You see what I mean? Anytime, the way they want to shut the critics down, they use this shit if it's parents, and if it's us advocates, well, they're autistic too. They should probably be in our center. They don't really understand reality. You know how many times I had people tell me that? The actual truth is there are not more, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of the wording here. Autistics tend to be very much grounded in reality. But JRC would have you believe, one, we don't have imagination, but two, we're delusional. Which fucking one is it? Are we too set with our facts? Or with no imagination whatsoever, no way to look outside the box, too rigid? Or are we prone to delusionals and fantastical thinking? Which one is it? Because it can't be fucking both. Alright? Just saying. JRC uses intensive behavioral treatment to dramatically reduce or eliminate dangerous and disruptive behaviors. And when the JRC introduces the student to the joys and benefits of education and social interaction, then those positive behaviors replace the problematic behaviors. Is that a fact? Why are you gonna come on a shock device then? Yeah, that's what I thought. They use these words. Listen to the words that they're using and remember the kind of impact they're trying to have. Dramatic, dangerous, disruptive, and then the joys and benefits of education and social interaction. Are you outside your goddamn mind? If I am under threat to be thrown on a 4-point board at any given notice, and shocked within an inch of my life. Do you really think I'm going to be focused on education and social interaction? No. No. Because you're worried about that threat of pain. I have a bit of a run-tracked mind, folks. Trying to comprehend two things at once has always not been a strong suit. Let's face it. Let's be honest here. If I were under threat of that goddamn thing, that would be literally all I would be able to focus on and think about. Let's just be factual here. To the wayside of literally everything else, I'd be hyper-focused on it. And my paranoia and fear and anxiety would be through the goddamn roof. And with that special level of cocktail, all the autistic behaviors come out to fucking haunt me. That's what is reality as proposed to the fantasy that JRC is trying to sell you here. They call them problematic behaviors, but why are they problematic? They always go straight to the head banging and the eye gouging. What they don't tell you is all the other behaviors the kids get shocked for, which are so fucking vague to be basically meaningless. Non-compliance? Really? That could literally mean anything. If you blink without permission, shock. Have a yawn, shock. Raise your hand, shock. Stand up to kind of get a wedgie out of your ass, shock. You see what I mean? It doesn't work, does it? JRC has accomplished this in hundreds of cases that are documented at JRC and at the Massachusetts probate courts. Here we go again. If I were you, JRC, I would quit bringing up the Massachusetts courts. They don't have the best track record in the world. They're not exactly the first people I would go to that I would use as a means to make decisions. Especially not ones as dramatic as this. You're talking about the same courts that only a handful of hundreds of years ago were hanging witches, right? You cannot use them as a means to say, see, it's perfectly fine and safe. It's court ordered and it's fine. It's okay. I know it looks bad, but it's okay. The judge. Really? Yeah, I'm going to trust the court system that used to hang people. Marvelous idea. Just because the court says it doesn't make it right or true. This is why appeals processes exist. And moving on. It is a mistake to think that the behavioral repertoire of a person as being similar to a brick wall, and if one takes a brick or negative behavior out of the wall, one must replace it with another brick positive behavior. What the fuck did I just read? So you punish them just so you can have fun while doing it, right? Seriously? That's insane, JRC. The whole fucking point is to replace the more self-injurious type of behaviors for more positive behavior or providing a coping mechanism of some sort, some reasonable accommodation in order to bring down the behavior. That's fucking basics. That's behavioral 101. What crack are you on? You tote ABA, but then you go and stab the concept of ABA in the back, because what do they preach ABA as? Replacing negative behaviors with positive ones, right? And now you have the JRC saying, well, we can't do that. What good are you then? What good are you? If you can't follow through with your own ABA system, what good are you? Why do you exist? The complexities of this issue of replacement behaviors were dealt with intelligently by Jim Johnston in a recent paper in The Behavior Analyst. Oh, you mean the guy who works for you? Yeah, I'm not going to trust him as far as I can fucking throw him. These are the same people who think that torturing the autism out of people is a good thing. Turns out you can't actually torture a disability out of the person, but goddammit, the JRC's going to do their bestest, aren't they? It's not complex, JRC. That's when you start running into problems. When you make things way more fucking complicated than what they actually need to be, and this is coming from an autistic that has a fucking real tendency to do exactly that, that's when you start fucking up. You have a bad habit of either oversimplifying or over-exaggerating. It's not that deep, JRC. It's very simple. It's what ABA is fucking built on. Granted, ABA needs to be thrown away a long goddamn time ago. But if you can't even follow the very principles that are what you've based your entire program off of, what good are you? Here we go. As he points out, it's not always necessary to teach a specific replacement behavior for a behavior that one has decreased, and much depends on the specifics of the individual's case. Oh, for fuck's sake. So basically you're trying to put words in this guy's mouth. Who's surprised? He's not saying that it isn't necessary to replace it with a more positive behavior. What he's saying here is it may also be treated with a reasonable accommodation. Something that you at JRC continuously fail to do at every turn. The main objective of any good treatment program is to eliminate or decrease all this person's problematic behaviors and increase desired behaviors of whatever the individual is weak in. Actually, this is why you're wrong, JRC. That should never be the objective. You want to know what the objective is in actual good treatment programs? Let me put it to you. A good treatment program focuses on assisting a patient to live the most independent, successful life out in their community as possible. That's it. That's it right there. Your absolute focus on behaviors is your entire thesis' downfall. If all you do is focus on behaviors, you are missing out on so much shit, it's insane. Literally insane. If all you do is focus on behaviors, you're not focusing on development. Can I say that again for the idiots in the back? If all you're focusing on is the behaviors, you're really not focusing on development. And development should be happening in many different areas of the student's life. You're doing nothing to promote that. That is New York's point. You're not teaching any reasonable alternatives or providing any reasonable accommodations that would assist the person to live successfully out in the real fucking world out there. Okay? Because I live in the real world, JRC. It's a shithole. And there is triggering shit that happens outside my door every goddamn day. And the only reason why I'm not sitting on the floor rocking back and forth and twiddling my fucking fingers and shutting the world out is because the goal of my treatment program wasn't to focus on my behaviors, but was instead focused on how to help me live the most independent, successful life possible. And having the reasonable accommodations and all the tools that I would need in order to do so. And guess what? It worked. Because no one was sitting there focusing only on all the things that are wrong with me. Do you even know what you're doing to an autistic when you do that? Because then you make them think about all the things that is wrong with them. It teaches self-hatred, self-loathing, and helplessness. It teaches victimization. Okay? And on that note, folks, I'm going to go ahead and close out. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. See you tomorrow night.